gets better. That video wasn't for a company that we did work for. It was for that government organization. We had done a project for them before. That was what it was. Yes. And they were like, hey guys, we want you to do a video like this. So we clicked and we're like, but that's the video we did for you 3 months ago.
Yeah.
We can do this for you. And it was like...
And then, you have to put the link in to your example. We're like, well, here's the same link.
Yes, I might as well give you the same thing.
And, we didn't get the tender.
No, we didn't.
No. No, guys. Today we speak to Delicious Bokeh, a video production company that is disrupting the market in South Africa by doing things totally different. We speak to the two founders about startups, BEE, and everything in between. Let's go. Ready for this?
Intro music, turn the music.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, to a special edition, actually, of the Citizens Podcast, where you get to meet the guys behind the magic, the guys who make this thing called this machine move, hey? So I have Adam, Spires, and Stuart Parker.
Lord Stuart Buchanan Parker.
We went through the whole thing.
There's a title, David. Okay.
Flippin' heck.
Carry some gravity.
We spoke about this.
Some respect.
He's brother to Jon Snow, if you know Jon Snow. And I'm King David. Welcome, everybody. How are you guys?
Living the dream.
Absolutely fantastic.
It's about time we got on this podcast.
Amazing.
Yeah. But I'm just more interested to hear what your first question is.
You were living the life yesterday. Was that part of your job was just an excursion? Because you were shooting helicopters yesterday.
You went straight for the big guns. Yeah, yesterday.
Just before we carry on, Adam, if you could just speak closer to the mic.
I can't, because then I have to lean in, then I block you out.
You're engaging, you're standing up straight.
You have a hunchback or what?
Can
you put a
Amy,
pillow behind him? Some support.
Amy,
bring a cushion.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yesterday was pretty insane.
It was.
And we kind of do shoots like that from time to time, more often than not. We did a shoot for Cape Town helicopters.
Yeah.
So we went up in like 2 beautiful Boeing helicopters, followed by a third smaller helicopter as the videography helicopter, and Stu was hanging out. Ames behind the camera there was hanging out of it, going freaking nuts. And we got some insane shots.
Amazing. It was absolutely insane, man. I mean, these Boeing helicopters are absolutely top of the class. Aircon, everything inside, and they do all their tours with those. And then the filming helicopter was the smaller one with absolutely no doors on the side, so that we could get a clear view of the helicopters that we were photographing and filming.
Hanging out.
And we were there and just put a little safety belt keeping me in the helicopter. But you look over the side and you're looking straight down at the ocean. So it was an absolutely incredible experience.
So if you're watching this, use Cape Town helicopters for all your helicopter needs.
Yep. Name of the guy is Herman. Guys, tell me about yourselves. You are managing director, right, at Delicious Bokeh.
Yep.
Can you tell me about yourself, who you are, where were you born, bred, and how did you get to where you are today?
Well, let's do this in chronological order. So born and bred, Cape Town.
Yeah.
Okay, grew up here, just in an area around the corner here, Edgemead, of all places for my sins. And and then just traveled around the world for a while, worked in different tech companies, mostly in sales, tech companies in the US. I lived in the Philippines for a while. I lived in the UK for many years. I was a police officer there of all things as well, which I know we've had this conversation before.
Wow.
That's some interesting stuff. And then not 4 years ago, we decided, we met up and we decided we're going to do something completely different. And now that's how Delicious Bokeh was born, That's kind of me in a 30-second rundown, but Stu might be a bit longer.
Yeah, it's Stu, man. Introduce yourself to the citizens.
Lord Stuart Buchanan Parker, as David mentioned earlier.
Yes.
I like it.
So my background, grew up in Cape Town, Durbanville, most of my life. Then went to Stellenbosch University. And when I finished there, really didn't know what I was going to do. I studied management accounting. So very kind of like straightforward numbers, everything like that.
Yeah.
And then for the year after Stellenbosch, I went and lived in a place called Sodwana Bay, which is north of Durban, but just 80 k's from the Mozambique border, so still in South Africa. And I was a scuba instructor there for a year, and just kind of spent my days working at the resorts.
Tell them your nickname.
Scuba Stu.
Scuba Stu.
Wow. How many nicknames do you have, man?
There's many changes for the region of the provinces that go
stupendous amounts.
Stupendous nicknames. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the Stooniverse.
Here in our studio.
Oh, man.
So I spent a year over there, and I kind of got into underwater photography over there. And when I came back to Cape Town, went to Stellies, and probably a year into Stellies, I got my first camera and kind of just started messing around with photography. Started doing a couple of 21st birthdays, matric dances and farewells and things like that. Nothing really too serious. Wasn't taking too serious. Just, if someone needed a photographer, I was there. A little bit of extra cash on the side as a university student goes a long way.
Yeah.
And so after varsity, I got my first job at a company called Viking Fishing. I was in the cold store logistics side of it. So all the sort of outgoing orders, the management of the cold store and all that sort of logistics behind getting the food to the customer. Then a job opening happened in there, and I got promoted to a process engineer. And I went through a whole bunch of internal training and spent a couple weeks in Denmark and Copenhagen, kind of learning from the people who created the equipment there. So I did a lot of internal training and kind of spent the next, I suppose, 3.5 years as a process engineer in a seafood processing plant. And I mean, very interesting, loads of different things. And throughout that, I kind of started getting a bit more into the video side. And I would kind of just document little things, birthdays, New Year's, anything that was kind of interest and you kind of want to make a memory about. Because that's kind of what videos and photos was for me, is documenting life. And through that, I kind of, I suppose, just started documenting and making 1 or 2 videos a month. Nothing too hectic, of just going out to lunch with my girlfriend at the time or whatever it may be. And that's how then Adam and I met, because Adam was making a couple of videos here and there on his vlogs, and he made a post because he wanted someone to help edit him. And I could do the editing, I could do the videography, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of, get into that and do a couple of things. And so Adam and I met up.
Stu went through a rigorous interview process.
I don't think so.
He pitched up. I was like, all right, cool, you can edit. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So Adam and I started working together on a couple of videos, and then it kind of got to the point where people started wanting to pay us for videos. And that was kind of quite nice. And it kind of started getting to a point where we signed up our first client without having actually incorporated a company or having a company bank account or anything like that.
Freelancing. Yeah. So it was with his blog page. I mean, his vlog YouTube page, because I know he's a vlogger wannabe.
Yeah. So the beginning was in the vlog page, and then kind of we had a client reach out, and that was more for the client's marketing purposes.
I see.
And so we started with that, and I mean, we were both still had our full-time jobs, so I was finishing the day, 6:30 or 7, whatever it was, had dinner, and then got to work from about 8 till 10 on the side hustle.
But it's interesting to note that we, as Stu said, we sold a customer before we had incorporated a company. Because Stu and I got together and we were like, there's a need in South Africa at this moment for production company, but not just these regular run-of-the-mill crappy production companies that charge like exorbitant amounts of money. There needs to be a company that can be for like the companies that don't have massive budget.
We're breaking that tradition of the generational sort of film production companies where there's cranes and portaloos and catering and all that sort of stuff, where does it help? Sure. Is it needed? No, not all the time.
You can get way more.
But it's not to say you guys are cheap, right?
No, we're super cheap. We're really cheap.
You're really cheap.
Just kidding. We're not too bad. We're well priced.
I see. Yeah, I mean, because I'm into music, and we always looking for some great quality music videos shot for our music. And it's kind of difficult because, I mean, the amount you pay for these music videos are crazy, and the quality is not always that amazing. But Delicious Bokeh bridges the gap between budget and quality, basically.
Yeah, there was no middle road. So if you as an organization wanted to go and make a pretty cool video, you'd either have to spend over 100,000 Rand to do it, or you need to hire some kid out of high school who's got his Canon and he's got a little MacBook or whatever it is, and he smashes a little video out for you. There was no one that was in between. So we identified that market, and we were like, that's where we need to be.
Yeah.
And we put people on a specific business. We had a specific business model going in, which is retainer based. I came from the SaaS industry, software as a service, and I was selling that. And if you want to go onto Zoom, you got different packages. That you can choose this package on Zoom, that package on Zoom, or that package on Zoom. Same with most software. So I was like, well, what if we create a business model that patented after the SaaS business model? So we just created these 3 packages, and we were like, you want 2 videos, you pay this much a month. 3 videos, you pay that much a month. 4 videos, you pay that much a month. And people kind of took to it. They were like, I know how much I'm spending.
Of course, and what you're getting.
And what I'm getting for it.
And to build on that as well was the retainer base. I mean, we produce mainly social media focused videos. We aren't making things for TV and things like that. This is all social media where everyone's sort of clients are.
Although we have.
You have done commercials.
We've been on TV, kind of a big deal.
You are, man. You guys are actually running Cape Town, aren't you?
So the retainer came in as well because people then and organizations were able to post regular content. So once a week we could create series, we could create interviews, you could meet the team, whatever it may be. So it really added value to our clients because they were now getting consistent quality content for their social media platforms.
Okay, let's backtrack a bit. How does Delicious Bokeh become a company now? Because it was just the 2 of you, trying to get out of your jobs ultimately.
Yeah.
And how does it become a company? And
well, Stu edited out of his garage. He had a camera that was average.
Yeah.
I had a camera that was average that I used to vlog in. And Stu had a laptop and a garage. And so we kind of started there, literally one of those stories of starting in your garage.
Yeah.
And then just through hard work, consistency and dedication and blood, sweat and tears, we created a company. And now here we are.
Blood, sweat and tears.
Blood, sweat and tears, baby. It really was and through arguments that we've been through, we've, have sit down, we hold each other accountable. And it really, that's, people think that creating a company is something that's glamorous.
Yeah. Sorry. So it sounds like a black man's story. Sorry to say this, because I was expecting you to say, I had 1 computer and a 10 million rand loan from my dad. And we started like that. But you're saying like there was actual grind and hustle and sleepless nights.
Well, yeah, we're bootstrapped. And that's a term that's not really used in this country. I don't think it's used, but it means that we didn't have any funding. We had 0 funding. We started
no funding. Everything we used was our own personal equipment.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't even in a nice garage. I was renting the place. So it had like a carpet with oil stains on. It was dark, like one little light bulb. I worked with like a little picnic table that I used for camping.
But I remember our first invoice that we sent out and we got paid because I was like, okay, so this is how you send out the invoice.
Well, I was making the invoices on Microsoft Excel and sending it as a PDF.
And we got this money and we're both working full time.
You had no logo then.
No.
On the invoice, there was nothing. What was there?
No, nothing.
We had just put the words at the top.
But we got paid, right? And this first invoice, you're sitting there with I think it was like, we got paid like 15,000 Rand. I think that was what our first invoice. And we're like, Stu's like, we need a gimbal. I'm like, okay, cool. What's a gimbal?
What is it? Yeah, what is it?
Because I didn't know. Stu's the oak, And we bought a gimbal.
Yeah. So guys, tell me, where does this turn into passion? Because I mean, you had your own passions before meeting him, and because I see your work and I can see the passion behind the work that you guys do and an amazing team that you have. Everyone here is just passionate. And where does passion meet work? Because it can just be work and work forever. But there's something I see behind your work which is very unique.
Well, so I mean, from our background, it's accounting, engineering. Yeah. Engineering was a second option at Silly's as well. So I'm very analytical, but I had a little bit of creativeness as well. So you get sort of the natural born creatives, which are like Amy and Alex here behind the camera. And myself, I kind of have to force myself to be creative. But what I'd started doing is using engineering to breed that creativeness. So I sort of delved into the cameras and the settings and why things work and the gimbals and how the motors work and everything like that. So I start understanding the tools that we are using. So I'm then able to use those tools and understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and sort of what we can do to substitute things in. And sort of my creativity has been bred from analytics, I suppose, and engineering. So what I kind of started creating is a very run and gun style of shooting, which allows us to create projects efficiently, but still have that creative quality that people need and expect.
And we pass that cost on through in a cost saving because it's a run and gun style.
What's a run and gun style?
So instead of going to a movie set and you're blocking off Loop Street in Cape Town and there's cranes and police and there's all sorts of things like that, we operate with very sort of light equipment. We've modified things to kind of make it move around easily. We can pack things in the car. We can kind of go to someone's location. We aren't sort of making these massive productions where we can just come to your office, shoot an interview with the CEO, a nice little backstory or whatever it may be, get the B-roll around the office, get that done in 2 to 3 hours, and edit within 2 to 3 hours, and you can have a video within our average turnaround time of shooting and editing is 8 hours. And that's kind of the model that we've worked on throughout our sort of career with Delicious Bokeh. And we generally get a video from shoot to our clients within 7 days, 7 to 10 days. And
which you need to understand was unheard of in the industry. So here you got these two young guys who are like going in, run and gun. We'd pitch up with like gimbal. We'd have like a light that we'd quickly set up, do this, and we'd go, okay, we got the shot next. And what happened is that we found where we were going into this industry and people were like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah. Why you guys are doing something that's a bit different. We had to start educating the industry on the way that we were doing things, down to our business model, down to the way that we were shooting. Like they were like, where's the canteen? Where's the portal?
We show up to a shoot and they say, is this it? And we're like, yeah. And then you can see they are a little bit nervous.
Who's the health and safety officer?
If they've worked with these bigger productions before, generally they are a little bit nervous when we rock up. And that's fine. But once we show them the clips that we just got on the camera over there, like, they're kind of like, okay, that looks really nice. Yeah. And then they get their edit within a week and just...
Mind's blown.
They don't know how, and we're still educating people to this day because we're getting a lot of bigger clients that have come from the traditional media space. And when they come to our studios or we rock up there to do our shoot and they get this high-end product for the price that they paid, they are mind blown still. And there's a lot of appreciation from their side. And that then just kind of locks in our relationship with them as well. And just kind of reinforces that retainer model we have where they're like, we can get this quality for this price. It's a no-brainer to sign up
within a week.
Within a week,
yeah. Normally you get a shoot that happens for a whole week, and we're shooting something that you guys could probably do in a day. I guess you guys just get it. Like, we got the shot. That's it. Why we have to do it again? Yeah. And after a week, it's editing, then sending the product back and forth.
There's a lot of additional steps in the traditional film media. There's cutting and there's this, and they pass it on to this person, then onto the sound designer, then onto the color graders, and then on, and then for final this and whatnot. It's a massive web, and you're constantly waiting for feedback, and then you go back to step one. Everything here is in-house. We aren't sending everything out. We train our guys to be their own production team. So we are able to send one of our videographers off to a shoot. They're fully briefed. They know what they're doing. They know the equipment. And essentially, they're able to edit that video as well. So they can color grade it. They can add in the sound design. They can add everything on the sequence. It's all sorted. That's kind of how we're doing. Like, everyone becomes their own sort of own production unit.
I'm interested in knowing, how did you guys do it before when it was just the two of you? I guess you had Keenan. I saw Keenan was one of the early editions. So now you have a full team now. How did you guys do all this before you had this team?
Stu got lots of love, lots of cuddles. I had to, walk him off the ledge a few times, and it was tough, and specifically on Stuart. We're working full time, and Stu's having to, I'm speaking for you, Stu, but like, he's having to like function with a full time job. I had more flexibility because of the work that I was doing.
The vlogging.
Well, that wasn't work. That was more just like a hobby. Okay, and it always has been a hobby for me. But I was, working with a US tech company at the time, and I had a bit more flexibility because I worked in the evenings. So my daytime was open. So it was tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of, the startup is putting your life on pause for 2 to 3 years to kind of get this going.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I mean, I used up all my leave days. I had to kind of keep making excuses. There's only so many dentist appointments I can go to.
You still have your teeth intact.
So it's became unsustainable to have the full-time job and delicious Bokeh. There's one for the shooting and then one for the editing, because it was full-time job. I couldn't edit at work because it was a demanding position as well. So there was really no time for additional stuff there. And then at night it would be the edit.
But here's the testament, though, to if you have the right product and you enter at the right time in the market, which is what I believe we did, and because after 6 months, we incorporated in June 2018.
You're 4 years now.
Yeah, 4 years. But we worked full time till the end of that year, and then from then we were able to pay ourselves salaries sufficient enough to cover our costs, which is not common in a startup.
Yeah.
All our income for those first sort of 6 months went straight back into the company. Because we had our full-time jobs, we were still able to support ourselves, but everything from the company made went into the set of lights that we still use today. In the gimbal that I was using in the helicopter lot yesterday.
Yeah.
So all the money we made just got reinvested back into the company.
So guys, what did you do during COVID, during lockdown? Because you were still fresh in the game. Because you're only 4 years old.
Okay.
How did you guys stay afloat? Because I saw you during lockdown, you guys were busy.
Yeah. So
how did you do that?
2020, which is really the year that COVID hit. I mean, it hit end of 2019, but
can I start when lockdown actually just started?
Yeah, go for it.
So Adam and I, Africamps is one of our clients. Yeah. They are an amazing client. They host these glamping tent structures. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it's a self-catering, modern luxury tent, camping sort of thing with hot tubs, fires. It's amazing. We had just done a 7-day shoot all on the road on their safari spots around the Kruger National Park. On our way back was the first case identified in Durban.
Oh, I remember that.
That's horrible.
And we were flying back to Cape Town from Durban. We rocked up at the airport. Now, we had been in the middle of nowhere for the last 7 days. We get into Durban airport and there's just masks everywhere and there's people sanitizing and we just walking around.
Like, what the hell?
What's going on
in Asia? Why is everyone wearing a mask? You know, because everyone in Asia. What's bird flu?
And so that was our introduction into lockdown, where we didn't really know what was going on. And then, so you can take it from here. The next 2 weeks or so, kind of everything just sort of escalated.
Because that was like 0.0 where the person entered the country, the first case, Durban. We had entered that through Durban that day, I think it was. So, and then just kind of what we did is we thought, everyone was panicking about business, right? And we thought, well, what could we do? Because now we can't go out and shoot on site. But what can we do? So the first thing we did is we said, we're going to, at no charge to any of our clients, create animated videos that explain COVID-19 to their employees and how they can be safe.
All internal stuff that they can use. They can send it out to people, all very factual, every taken from the CDC, World Health Organization. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and give it to our clients for free.
Yeah, we did it with their logos. We did it with you guys.
Yeah,
we made you a bunch of videos.
Very smart.
Because we were like, I was like, I'm worried that this is going to have a financial impact and we're going to have to pause retainers. And so we immediately started bobbing and weaving and we created these videos. And in fact, we had a client come back to us. I won't mention the name, but there were a resort company that had been with us for like a couple of years already.
Yeah.
And they said, look, we're shut down. We're shutting everything down right now, pausing. And I said, no problem. We're going to continue to do videos for you for free. So for 2 months, they didn't pay us a cent and we didn't even miss a beat. And so because of that thoughtfulness about like, we're in this together. Yeah. You're like our family. City, you're a family, man. We're not going to let you guys go. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? We're going to stop making videos for you in your time of need. It forged a relationship that helped us grow by 40% in 2020 and then by 30% in 2021. So we almost doubled our company over the period of lockdown.
Wow. You guys grew in lockdown when everyone was like...
And we were, at that time, we had 4 people. So it was Adam, myself, and then 2 other guys working with us. Keenan being one of them.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons we could carry on creating this content for our clients is of the retainer style that we have.
Yeah.
Because we have so much stock footage of all our previous clients. So we were able to gather a whole bunch of stuff together and make new videos from existing videos, all social media focus, and just to kind of keep people on their minds about these companies that are now kind of like closing down, shutting down and whatnot. So we were able to then, like I said, bob and weave and
adapt.
Adapt.
Or die.
And, I think people started going digital in the beginning of a lockdown, but then really stepped it up.
Yeah.
And we did tutorials and online consulting and interviews and all sorts of stuff.
Stu even made a video on like how to film yourself at home with your cell phone, like on how to put the headphones on, use it as a lapel mic, et cetera.
Lighting, angles, everything. Really, like a little step-by-step process on how to film yourself so we could get CEOs and MDs and or
100%.
human resources, whoever it may be,
Yeah.
to record a message from their home, send it to us, and we can add in the animated graphs, we can add in the color, we can fix whatever really in editing to make it a more engaging video that they can then send out to everyone in their Microsoft Teams chats or whatever it may be.
We started doing live streams as well.
Yeah.
That's how our live stream, we do live streams for City too.
Yeah, you do.
That's how that grew out of COVID.
Whew. I think this is very helpful to our citizens, guys. So you guys never thought of applying for funding, or there was a talks of relief funding during lockdown.
But we did, but we didn't get it, and we don't know reasons. We have suspicions why we didn't get the funding.
I think I know why.
Why, David? Please tell us.
I'm just touching my face. I think I know why. That's sad though.
Yeah, but we didn't get the funding.
Yeah.
But it. I'm my personal perspective, and this is just me as a person, is I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the government to come and bail me out. I don't want the government really involved much in my life. I don't think that it adds value to my life, and I think the private sector is really one of the answers to this country's woes. So I think the less government involvement I have in my business, the more freedom I have to bob, weave, and adapt.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't too put off by that.
Oh man, one of my friends. Do you know what's an RDP house?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my friends used to say we South Africans have this RDP mentality where we sit and we wait for the government to come and bail us.
That's interesting.
And I think we can literally learn from you guys how you rose to the occasion when you could have decided, let's ask for help, man. Let's ask for help. But you kept on working, which is amazing. But now, do you do any government work right now? Or
We do, yeah. And we had to be very smart about how we went about doing that, because it's not easy for a white-owned company, a wholly white-owned company, to do government work. But yeah, we're doing some government work.
What do you mean it's not easy?
Well, I mean, I remember my first experience. I was trying to apply for this tender. It was an RFQ, request for quote.
Yeah.
The only difference between that and a tender is the price. Tenders are higher. So we had this RFQ, and I was having to fill out this affidavit, and I'm busy filling it out. And keep in mind that my entire working career has been in the US and the UK.
Yeah.
I've never really worked in South Africa before until we started this company. So I'm busy filling this out, and I'm like, okay, so now comes like, are you black owned? I'm like, no. How much percentage are you black owned? I was like, 0. Are you black female owned? I'm like, no. And then I'm like, so what status am I? Nothing. So, and then I started going into like,
sorry for laughing. This is tough, man.
Hey, okay. So then I started going, well, what does that mean for me? That means that if I don't have a level, I have to charge a lot less than what a level 1 might be charging, because a level 1 has the ability to charge more, and they get X amount percentage more favorable than me.
Level 1 is what? Black owned?
Black owned, yeah. Like solely black owned, with like females and people with polio and like some sort of like other instances or whatever. So some sort of I don't know what it, I don't know the intricacies of it. But when I went through that process, I remember thinking to myself, I think it was a real, and this is really important, because as a young white South African who grew up in the 80s as a young kid, I was born in 82, it led me into a bit of an insight into what people of color may have, even if it's just a small little insight and an educational moment. It was a wow moment going, wow, I'm not getting this. because of the color of my skin, because I'm a white-owned company. Imagine what it must have been like growing up during apartheid. And so it was real, just like an aha moment, and it helped me understand kind of certain privileges that I might have as a person. You know, yeah, we didn't receive funding. Yeah, daddy didn't come and help me start my company. But at the same time, it was just a real kind of like aha moment for me where I was like, okay, I get certain things, you know, I understand certain things. And so those little learning moments that I like as a white South African that you can learn, you know, so.
Sure.
But yeah, we've worked with a couple government companies, which is a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool things happening within our country. But
100%.
It took a long time to get there. And one of the funniest examples in the beginning, we were filling out a tender form, might have been the same one. We were filling the form out, name, company, this, number of employees, what. And now it gets to like the quality control section. So what it does is it gives a link to a video posted on YouTube, and it says we then need to link a video of ours so that we can match that quality, so it can kind of be vetted. And we can produce the same type of quality. Yeah. So you're like, sure, yeah, let's see what this video looks like. We open the video and it links to a company that we made a video for previously, and it was our video on YouTube that was being used as an example.
No, hold on, Stu. It gets better. That video wasn't for a company that we did work for. It was for that government organization. We had done a project for them before. That was what it was. Yes. And they were like, hey guys, we want you to do a video like this. So we clicked and we're like, but that's the video we did for you 3 months ago. Yeah. Yes. We can do this for you. And it was like...
And then, you have to put the link in to your example. You're like, well, here's the same link.
Yes, I might as well give you the same thing.
And, we didn't get the tender.
No, we didn't.
No, guys.
Oh, no. Our own video didn't get us the tender.
That's you. That's me. These guys. So, yeah, come in, guys.
So that was man. So, we went through a lot of... what would you call it? Barriers, I suppose, before we kind of started working with government organizations. But we have some really good guys on our side now that we've kind of forged some great relationships with, and it's going really well for us now.
Yeah, man. Sorry to sit on the white thing, but I like it. There's probably some white-owned, like fully white-owned companies, small business out there thinking, yeah, but what should I do now? Should I like bring in like Black people so that I can get these tenders? What should I do? Like, what do you advise? How do you what works in that case? Because you can't just, I see a lot of companies bringing in Black people to work for them just so that they can qualify for certain things, the employment equity, and they can get BEE points and stuff. But that's not the way really, because that's not what you want. You end up not liking the person anyway. It defeats the purpose
of the reason why BEE exists.
Yeah, you guys are like all white here. Amy, don't you want to, I just want you to, Amy and Alex come through.
I want to introduce them because they're amazing videographers, not because they're white.
Yeah, I want to introduce them because they're like super white. Look at this guy. Look at this. It's like Twilight. This is Amy. This is Alex. You want to introduce them?
So Alex, he started with us, 3 months ago? 4 months ago? 3 months ago. This is Amy. She begged us for this job, and we're like, fine. And I'm just kidding. She's been one of our best hires. And you've been working with us for a couple of years now. Yeah, geez. And so Amy's our videographer. Yeah. One of our videographers, and so is Alex. Yeah. But they're multi-skilled, so they can edit and
Yeah.
Like okay. Go.
And this was both their first job, so they we created jobs, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah. So now we hire 7 people in total. So.
Amazing guys. Yeah, they're very talented. I can attest to that. And it's about that at the end of the day. So you just want skilled people who also blend in your culture. Yeah. You have a culture here. I don't know. Do you?
I hope so.
You just, what do you call it when you're just running around with the camera?
Run and gun.
Run and gun everything.
So we were chatting to Keenan, our first hire, and he was talking about the culture. It's something I didn't even realize or know about until you started mentioning it, because this is kind of just how we do things. Yeah. It's not something that is forced or planned or anything. It just comes completely natural, and we try and treat everybody as well as we can, and give everyone equal opportunity here and there, and we take people out on dinners and lunches and getaways and things like that. But that's, for us, is not we're doing this because you did a good job, or this. It's really just we're doing it because it's a nice thing to do.
If I could add to that, it's if you want to build a company from scratch, first of all, make sure that you got the chutzpah to do it, because it's the grit and the resilience to do it. Okay. But there's a couple of key elements. And the number one element is that, and I say this with you guys over there looking at me and smiling, but it's really important to create an environment that your employees love. So culture is a massive part of Delicious Bokeh. I mean, 3 weeks ago, we just got back from our yearly company retreat.
Yeah.
We went to the Hex River Valley. We went on hikes. We did all sorts of stuff. We stayed in a massive Airbnb kind of house. We do it as much as we can, within our budget. But we do this kind of stuff. We have, the parties that we do. We have a personal progress program in our company where each individual employee has their personal progress route and where they want to be in 12 months. We pay for courses within our company. We don't have, for example, bloody hell, Amy, no, it wasn't Amy. Who was late today? Josh. Josh was late today. We started at 8 o'clock. I don't give a crap whether Josh comes in at 8:30. I don't care whether he leaves at 4:30. We're not those people. I just want to make sure that you're getting the work done and that you're happy at work. And if you're happy at work, you're getting the work done. True. And so we try really hard to create a culture of happiness. And I'm not just saying that, it's a real thing. Yeah.
Cool. So back to my question around white-owned companies.
Oh yeah, we're going back here again.
Yeah, just so that we can just
pack it and leave. Back to what we would say. I mean, it comes down to just create a good product and don't stop. And if you've got a good enough product, people are going to buy it, and then people are going to notice it. And I don't know.
Well, there is a reason why we're doing government work right now, because what we did is we foresaw that governments can only work with certain companies per se, and we have an actor that we brought to the table for this specific government organization. And then what happened is that government organization wanted to use this actor for multiple series. And by the way, the government organization, I won't mention the name, but that we're working with is one of the most amazing organizations. Just credit to a government organization. But they really are an amazing organization. But what I did very early on was I said to that actor and that person's guardian, I said, any business that we bring to you, you work through us. So what that did is it forced the government organization's hand that now they want to use this actor because they've formed a character.
Yeah.
And it's like they can only now use us because they cannot use this person who's a big part of what they're doing at the moment. So,
and we've created
that helped us
like probably 40-ish series with that actor for this organization, which is very educational. It goes to every sort of government-owned school from grade 1 to 7, if I'm not mistaken, and it's very educational and things like that. So we created a lot of valuable content for them using this actor. Yeah.
Cool, man. I see Adam is refraining from mentioning names. So what's your relationship with CEDA? I mean, CIFA.
CIFA.
Do you have a relationship with them?
Who is them?
So they're like a small, medium enterprise funding agency type of thing.
If we don't know who they are, bro, we don't have a relationship with
them. Hold on.
CIFA.
There might have been throughout the course of our life as a company, we were selected as an organization to receive a government grant and mentoring, which was super beneficial. And that might have been through CIFA. Yeah. It could have been. And it really helped us out a lot. So I think it's important to mention that, is that we say, like, I don't want the government involved in my business, but we got a nice grant from them, which was always helpful. So
government, I got you.
Yeah. But
white people, I got you too.
But the government's doing some amazing initiatives here in the Cape. And I think we benefited a little bit from that. So.
Yeah, they are. We benefit a lot from the government. I mean, I know when you're working with the government, you have to have a champion inside the government, someone who will believe in what you do, and once you have that person, bro, you're in forever.
You know, we had Alan Windy in our offices like 3 weeks ago.
Is it?
Yeah, we did a shoot with me.
That's your champion.
I was with Alan on Friday, last week Friday.
Really?
I got a man crush on the guy, like proper. What a champ. Alan!
Oh, man. But you guys seriously run Cape Town, man. You're everywhere. Who are your most notable or biggest clients today? I know there's Rocco Mamas. I know there's like who else? Yesterday we were at Cape Town Helicopters, which is massive. We have that brewery place. I don't know how big they are, but they're like very notable. Who are your biggest clients? Like clients that you'd like to mention and say, "Yo, guys, relationship forever."
I think Club Mykonos would probably be one that's
Langeban.
Yeah, we have created so many videos for them and so many viral videos. Those things that just went absolutely nuts.
What an amazing organization.
I remember during COVID, they were doing some charitable work.
Yes, we documented that. Yeah, they were handing out food and whatnot. Yeah, so they are incredible. And we love working with them and everything they do. And like I said, man, they are open to so many different types of video ideas. And that's really allowed a lot of virality around their brand.
Well, I mean, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention Generation Schools. They're a private school that are just doing unbelievably amazing things in education, like kicking the trend. And they're actually the one, the company that signed up with us before we incorporated. I sat down with the founder, Jevron Epstein, and I said, "We got this great company, Jevron." He's like, "Sweet, sign us up." I was like, "Stu, we got to incorporate a company." We do work with Hotel Sky. As I said, AfriCamps, City. You guys, we do all of your videos.
Yeah, how did you? I'm interested. How did you get to work with us? Because I mean,
so I
think we had an internal videographer before I started.
Jeez, I can't actually remember. I knew the marketing manager, and we just and this just goes down to like the testament of City is that, and this is actually something I wanted to mention, and I think it's really helpful for the citizens out there, and especially those who are trying to start up their companies, because you are being incubated within an environment where you are trendsetters. You're doing things that a lot of people haven't done. And the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenges like we had, was educating the market. When we came out there and we said, "Hey, you guys," with some of our clients recently, it's like, your videos aren't getting the hits they need. Are you using the audio within Instagram to make a trend? And some of them are like, "Huh? What?" And so we actually spend our time educating a lot of our customers on actually how to distribute, how to use video, like how important video is. And City picked up on that very quick. And so we've been with you guys for a couple of years now. And we've produced some cool content. But educating your customers, especially as you're being incubated. You look at Mzansi Meats, for example. Never been done in Africa. A large portion of what they're going to be doing is educating people on the benefits of what's the correct phrase? I don't want to say grown in a lab.
Cultivated meat.
Cultivated meat. Sorry. And that's one of their challenges.
Yeah. So, man, I'm just amazed at how you guys just you're not linear in what you do, because some companies are like, yeah, we just shoot and edit and that's it. But there's so much to what you do. You also immerse yourself in sort of like the culture of the company that you're working with. I mean, you just mentioned learning, because we teach, and you just immersed yourself in also teaching. I think a lot of companies can learn from that, because you never know what opportunity could arise from you just saying, "Hey, I know we're shooting, but how about I just sit there and ask questions at this event?" So,
well, you spoke about passion. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
and that was key, because Stu's passion a lot of the time is many things, but it's Stu's passion that helped drive this company forward. But it was my passion, not in videography and making videos, but my passion in creating something awesome, and business and building a business. So because I had that as my passion, and we combined it with Stu's passion together as a team, we were able to take our two passions together and build something. You can't just really like going into a laboratory and doing that.
Yeah.
You need to have someone who has a business sense and who has a passion for growing a business, if that's not you.
Yeah.
And that's important in partnerships.
Who has the most business sense between
Well, Stu studied. I mean, Stu, I do not want to take away from business sense from Stu, but it's more my responsibility within the company as a managing director to help lead and guide the business, and I deal with a lot of the financials and stuff like that. But once again, Stu could do it, but it's my responsibility, So yeah.
Amazing.
Don't put us up against each other, bro.
No, I have to. I mean, if he does most of the work, I should be just talking to him.
Actually, this guy, really.
I'm just kidding.
Get that guy.
Yeah, man. To our citizens now, we have a lot of citizens who are out there trying to start businesses. I mean, we had a pitch competition not so long ago, and there were brilliant ideas that came out of that competition.
Yeah, we filmed it.
Yeah, you filmed it. You live streamed it. And there's a young man I'm talking to, Rich. His name is Rich from Soshanguve in Pretoria, that side. so brilliant. So he's got too many ideas. I think you can never have too many ideas if you can actually implement them. But he's got a lot, and all of them he finds himself in these pitch competitions and he's winning them, and it ends there, man. So I don't know. Yeah. What would you say to someone like that? Is it the business aspect missing? Is it connections?
Execution.
Execution.
If you've got a lot of ideas, it doesn't help if you don't execute.
But that's also an issue nowadays with, I'm going to sound like an old man. But
Please
like
do.
we have a real issue when it comes to the rising generation. They're awesome, but at the same time have you ever heard that phrase? My grandfather walked to work. My father drove a Toyota Corolla. I'm paraphrasing here. My father drove a Toyota Corolla. I drive an Audi and my son will drive a Ferrari, but my great-grandson or my grandson will walk to work. And basically it means that strong people create easy times, and easy times create weak people, and weak people create hard times, and hard times create strong people, and strong people create
Shoot,
times.
okay. I think I need water.
Write that down.
Yeah. Maybe you simplify that.
basically,
Yeah.
we're in a situation where our parents and our grandparents have put in some real hard work because they grew up post-war, whatever it might be. They've grown up in harder times. And we're living in very, I don't mean to diminish other people's experiences here, but for the most part, we're living in some of the easiest times where the most people on this planet have access to so much. And we're in a situation where people like instant gratification. So they're like, I want to be a millionaire. It's easy. Just start a company. And then all of a sudden you start realizing that there are sleepless nights. There's hard work that's involved. You're not getting paid. People are putting you down. And you need to have a certain resilience and grit to get through that. And my concern is that the rising generation does not have that. And I speak generally. I realize there's so many amazing people out there. But my concern is that. And that's been my experience. Obviously, present company excluded. We've got some great guys in our company. But I worry about that. I worry about people having the ability to be able to have the grit to do stuff,
It's like the instant gratification that Adam said. If people, you want the idea, then you want the immediate funding, then you want it to be successful within the next month, sort of thing, and then you can retire and everything's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, just like that, Amy brings in beers. I mean, that's just part of the company culture right there. I mean, what? Thanks, Abe.
There we go.
Advertising not included.
Advertising not included. These are the views of Delicious Bokeh only and not City.
Not city, not citizen.
You see, the culture.
No, persons under the age of 18 drink alcohol
Let's see if
responsibly.
we can get a good
Ooh,
up that.
what is it saying? Stu. Hey guys, oh man.
Cheers.
Cheers, Adam.
Cheers.
Cheers, Stu.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a seminar, like a business seminar, and this guy was talking about the power of the mobile phone. And as much as that is true, because he was saying, no, guys, from your mobile phone, you can run your business. And I think we're at that, in those times now where you are advised to do things from home. You don't need to go out there. You don't need to really meet people. And that creates that slack and that laziness and that, okay, if I have to go out to do it, then I won't. But if it can be done on my phone, then hell yeah,
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So, but then what happens, when you don't have the kahunas like Delicious Bokeh during lockdown saying, nah, we're just going to go out there either way? Because at first I thought you were an influencer. And I'm like, no, he's not. And you said you're a vlogger. And I followed you. I saw you were a vlogger wannabe, but you do like amazing things. And I realized that you are the boss here. So, it's not just sitting out there and saying we're depending on technology, right? It's a combination of that and actually going out to grasp the opportunities. I think that's what the citizens should take out from this.
I mean, there's plenty of ways to make money. South Africa is a prime spot to be able to start up a business and be amazing at it. South Africa is an amazing country with so much potential. And I'm not saying that because I don't do that. I don't say that just for saying things and sounding good. It really is. There's many ways to make money. I can open up an ice cream van around the corner, and with enough hard work and dedication, I can make money with it. But it's a case of like just putting in the work. And I think that's what may be missing when it comes to wanting
And
a
a lot of
business.
self-education. I mean, all this that you see is self-taught. I didn't go to film school. But I can tell you the inner workings of a light and why these mics work and why I have this poof over here. It's for the plosives.
I never went to university. I barely scraped through matric. I never studied tertiary education.
So there's a lot of self-education and really learning. And I think also in these modern times, there's so much information that it's difficult to find what you're looking for. But with enough time and kind of finding everything, it's possible. And working from your phone and whatnot, it's doable. But it's not something you can just sit on the couch and do immediately. It's going to take a lot of time of learning and then finding a niche, because it's hard, man.
It's hard work.
Getting things done and understanding what it's.
But the process is fun. I enjoy the process of building a company. You know, I like the fact that now that we sit here with David from City and we're in the podcast and we start talking about Stu's garage, and now Amy, can't you like twist the camera around and show the studio we're in? I don't know if you can. Oh, she's like, oh crap! I just framed this right.
Yeah.
But here we now are in a studio that we can utilize. It might be dark. You might not see what's going on here, but just to show, and we have offices next door. We've created something. We've got 7 employees, and it's like, sometimes it's good just to stick your head above the clouds and look back from where you came in and like celebrate that, because I don't want to be living for things that are happening in the future. I want to be living in the now and celebrating what we're living in now. Because I'm not, if I live in what I'm constantly trying to get, and then I get it, and then I'm living again, and what I'm trying to get then, it's going to be a depressing life.
It will be. I mean, what happens when you get to like the top of the pile and there's nothing to chase anymore?
There's no such thing as the top of the pile, bro.
Apparently there is.
Because if you climb a mountain, there's always a higher mountain. You know what I mean? There's always a higher mountain.
That's what I was waiting for.
Unless it's Everest. I don't want to go there. You know what I'm trying to say.
You sound like Nelson Mandela right there.
But there is. Like, we could create a 1 billion rand company here.
Yeah.
There's always 2 billion rand companies.
So true.
So I'm not going to live it like that, man, because then it just... I want to live in what we're doing now and celebrate now and just work hard now, because the rest comes.
Okay. And what does the future hold for Delicious Bokeh? Where besides living in the now? Because there has to be a future.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what are the plans for the future? How are you going to like continue diversifying yourself and obviously adapting and staying relevant? Because you are relevant right now.
Yeah, I know. You want to take this one?
I mean, we were in a growth spurt, and Alex and another gentleman next door just joined us 2-3 months ago, and that was adding 2 people on to a already 5-man team. So that's what, 60%? No, that's wrong. 40%? That's a 40%.
Cue math numbers.
That's a 40% increase in staff, essentially,
For a small company.
For a small company. So so we're growing, and the future, it's difficult to say because the landscape changes so much. But what we find is we adapt to the landscape very quickly. And a lot of people get frustrated with South Africa because we're so behind when it comes to technology and things like that. But that's actually an advantage, because you can see what's coming and then prepare for it. And that's why we have this kit over here. That's why we have the Rode mics, the Rodecaster over there, because it arrived in the US. Absolutely amazing. We were one of the first companies to have that. Then,
in fact, we couldn't get it, could we? Because it was like there was stock in the country, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got one because someone cancelled their order.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we got that. And then the cameras we use, they arrived in the US, absolutely amazing. Got here, we were one of the first companies. Same with our gimbals. So we stay on top of the trends, we stay on top with everything, and it's very difficult to kind of see where everything's going, because it's very consumer driven.
We don't want to be like other companies too. I don't want to be like, hey, we want to become a marketing agency, because there are marketing agencies. I want to become something different.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? I don't know. So if you ask me what the future holds for Delicious Bokeh, it's like, we don't know, because we don't know what the future holds.
I mean,
so we bob and weave.
A few months ago, we weren't hosting high-end live streams. And now we have wireless mics and speakers and cameras that can high-end quality live streams. We never expected that, but we saw that's where the market was going, made a decision. All right, fantastic. This is where we're going.
But I tell you where we are now, though, with videos, is it's reels and shorts, 15-second reels. We get emails from Meta going, you guys need to make 15 seconds or less videos.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone's content, and that's a testament to the rising generation.
Yep.
Quick stuff, 15 seconds. No one wants to watch a 10-minute video anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's like too long, Wow. Okay, no, so you're not thinking of we're going to shoot movies and music videos. You just take it as it comes.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
That's the thing, really. Like Adam says, focusing on the now, just making the best of what we have now, and we just adapt as we move forward.
Yeah.
Adapt.
Okay, guys. Any parting words? Any words of
yeah, if you guys need videos, you know, it's deliciousbokeh.com. You can find our contact details there. We're always open to take your money.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that it? Sorry, Stu, do you want to do one?
No, I think I'm pretty much covered it.
Can I go?
To our citizens, please, guys, can you say something to our citizens? Because I'm pretty sure after this, they're going to look up to you and look you up.
Go for it.
Ooh, something inspiring.
Yeah, Stu, come on. I see your hashtags on Instagram. You always say some dope stuff.
The editor will cut out this little blank spot.
Or not.
No.
Are you pushing buttons?
Well,
I'll carry on. You just think a little bit. But I wish I knew what I know now. I wish I knew back when I was younger. I wish I knew when I was like your age. I mean, I'm 40 now, but you know, if my early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, whatever, I wish I had my mind on there, because I would realize that if successful business is about a couple of key things, the first thing is it's still relationship based. Okay, people can say whatever they want. It's relationship based, and you need to just keep relationships going. A lot of our clients are our personal friends now, and so it's very much relationship based. The second thing is it's bloody hard work. So if you are not a good networker, if people don't like you and you don't like people, it's going to be difficult, because you have to engage with people, and then you have to work really, really hard. If you have a good product, you work really hard, you forge relationships, the business will come. And that's kind of like a 3-step process to just making sure that you can hit it off. So good luck.
Awesome.
Try beat that, Stu.
Let's hear Stu.
There's no pressure, boy. Take another sip.
So from my side, I think something I've kind of kept close to my heart and with the guys and everyone around us is that done is better than perfect. Because you can always improve on something, but it doesn't necessarily get the job done. And it's difficult because there's a lot of perfectionism that goes into our work. I'm not saying just create something to get it done. We create high-end quality, but for the starters, specifically for the citizens, don't focus too much on making this absolutely perfect. Get it done, get it signed off, move on to the next thing. Because otherwise you're going to be spending way too much time nitpicking at something
stifled.
that doesn't necessarily change the bigger picture. So take a step back, and if this one little leaf is skew, it doesn't mess up this entire bunch of plants.
That's our time, ladies and gentlemen.
Push the green button.
Delicious Bokeh. Delicious Bokeh. You guys are geniuses. You guys are wise. You guys are wild.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, man. It was lovely having you on the last episode of the Citizen Podcast. Thank you so much.
For this season.
Yeah, this is the last episode. I didn't want to tell you, otherwise you were going to be all like, we have to beat the other episodes. So
Impossible.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in season 2, rebranded, refreshed, rejuvenated, and still amazing.
Can we say something?
Yeah.
That's a wrap.